Finally fucking launch day. Finally fucking here, man.
The most surreal moment of 2018 for me.
Man, coming fucking finally live from the Maxwell compound, man.
Two Real Buds podcast.
It's on, man. It's
episode.
it's fucking on, man.
It's
Super Bowl weekend and we fucking launch. Best fucking time to launch ever,
best,
bro.
Best time to launch.
We're fucking. Let's do it, man.
We're at it. Two Real
We're all
Buds.
about for the guys for the brand, man. Just be about the brand, man. Fuck it.
Just non-politically correct. Fuck the bullshit.
Unfucking censored.
Uncensored. Two dudes just talking whatever. Just
Supplantics. Non-supplantics. Just calling it how we see it. But anyway, we got a great episode.
a lot lined up.
Great pilot, man. It's Super Bowl weekend, so we're going to open up by talking about the Super Bowl. You can't launch on Super Bowl weekend and not talk about Super Bowl.
Definitely not. We have the underdogs, the number one seed in the NFC, the underdog story with the backup quarterback, my boy Big Dick Nick.
It's storybook.
Coming up against
fucking
the king,
storybook.
the king of the realm, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, the New England Patriots.
It's
my boy, who you got?
It's not even the king, it's the GOAT. As much as I'm a Colts fan, man, Tom Brady's the fucking GOAT, man. We have to live with it, Being a sports fan is giving credit when credit is earned, and he has earned his credit, and he has done his dues, and he's contributed a lot to the game. And yeah, man, it is what it is. You can take those scandals, man, and take them with a grain of salt. You can, if you want to speak asterisks, you can give the asterisks, but
and even then
still
the
got
asterisks, it's Spygate and Deflategate, two things that every team does, but the NFL happened to see Bill Belichick, easily the best coach in the history of NFL.
Absolutely.
And Tom Brady, the best quarterback ever in the NFL, if not one of the best players in the NFL, in the history of football. Who's better than him? Take away college. If you look at everything he's done in the pros with New England, with Bill Belichick, best.
Well, let's take the magnifying glass and zoom out a little bit. Let's compare it to all sports. Who's a better team athlete than Tom Brady?
Right now, Michael Jordan. Right now, that's the only person you have to compare him to, is the GOAT of all athletes, team athletes. Michael Jordan's the best. 2 3-peats. Took away time from his prime.
How about we break it down per sport? Best team athlete per sport: hockey, Wayne Gretzky; basketball, of course, Michael Jordan; football, Tom Brady.
Baseball, it's a lot harder because you can argue so many things. You can argue, well, Babe Ruth was a pitcher. Babe Ruth was a pitcher for a while, and he was a great batter. It's hard to do that today. Granted, in Little League, yeah, that's the easiest thing to do. Once you get into the pros, you can't do that anymore. You can't do both.
Let's speak modern day. Let's go from like 1980 to now. Best team athlete. I mean, we want to speak of all time, but I'm kind of want to zoom in on baseball, man, because there's just
so many eras that you can look into with baseball where
baseball's evolved so much since the late 1800s till now.
It's hard to tell who's the best baseball player of all time. Who can you put in that spot?
You got
Mark McGwire. Barry Bonds was on steroids. They won't put him in the Hall of Fame. Mark McGwire.
Pete Rose is he gambled, so that fucked him. That's obvious. Honestly, I think he should be included in the fucking Hall of Fame, but
I think so too, but I understand the argument on why he's not.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah. You bet on the game of baseball. You bet on your own team. You bet on your own team.
Hey, I don't give a fuck when anybody says that's savage as fuck.
How do you bet on your own team? I just don't get it. But
I do. Try to make money, even more money off yourself.
Yeah, I get it.
When you're when you're partially in control of the game as a player, I mean.
Now maybe I'm biased because I am a man of Pittsburgh sports.
Fuck the Reds.
I was raised into this culture where you bleed black and gold for every sport except basketball because Pittsburgh doesn't have a team. So I go for I'll go for the Hornets. I'll go for the Wizards, and Steph Curry because right now he's the best point guard in the game.
Yeah, man, one of the best point guard. Yeah, well, he averages more.
In the game today, he's the best point guard. That's my end all be all. He's the best point guard in the game.
If I had to pick two players other than Steph Curry to compete with that, I would probably say Isaiah Thomas. Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie's great. Isaiah's great. They both contend in the East. Who do they play? Who do they play regularly? John Wall. Okay. He's good. Not great. Team? Not great.
Kemba.
Kemba?
Up there.
Good. I think he'd be good if he went to... I've heard rumors of him involved in a package to Cleveland. That would be a great pickup, but...
There was theories of him, the Indiana Pacers. My Indiana Pacers made a deal. Or they didn't make a deal. They made an attempt to get Kemba Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Because as great as Victor Oladipo is, and I think Oladipo earned himself. He's an all-star. I mean, he is truly an all-star. But you need that, just like Michael Jordan had his Scottie Pippen. I mean, he needs a Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
You
Kemba, if you send him to Cleveland, he has LeBron. Is that enough to win a title? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You take away Boogie off the board with his injury, who can Cleveland get right now that's going to make them championship ready? Very hard to see who's even on the table.
I think if Kemba did go to India, it raises the bar for the East, though.
Yes and no. Victor's pretty solid, I think. In his own right, he's pretty solid point guard.
I witnessed it live last night. He put up 35. But Kemba put up, I think, 38. 40.
41, something like that.
Batum came up big last night.
Batum did, yeah, he did.
And Frank Kaminsky.
They all did. It was a great team effort.
It was a great game to witness.
Great team effort from the Charlotte Hornets. I'd like to see more of this.
I'd hate it was against my team, and it was, at my first Pacer game. But, it is what it is. It was a great game, a high-scoring game.
Back to the topic at hand. What solidifies Tom Brady as the greatest team athlete of all time?
The fact that you can put him with anybody and he still fucking wins.
Yeah. 16 undrafted free agents on this team. Far and above anybody else in the league. 16 undrafted free agents. Their wide receiver played lacrosse in college. Who else can say this? What other team can say this? And also, at the end, caveat with, I'm in the Super Bowl.
One team and one team only, and I'm not. This is kind of my bias talking. This is fact. The 06 Colts that had the worst run defense that won the Super Bowl at stopped Larry Johnson in the playoffs had 22 undrafted free agents.
That's unreal. That's so unreal. I remember Pittsburgh Super Bowl teams might have had one or two starting.
But as it backs up our point, I mean, 22 is pretty impressive. But take the fact you take Peyton Manning away, we're done. We won the Super Bowl that year.
And that's my argument. It's Tom Brady. You give him Randy Moss, Wes Welker. He's 16-0. 16-0. Losing the Super Bowl to Eli Manning and Tom Coughlin, whatever. But I think that's the argument against the Eagles winning the Super Bowl is, do they have an Eli Manning-esque player? Do they have a Ben Roethlisberger-esque player? No, they have Big Dick Nick, who started a handful of games. Now, is it unheard of? No, absolutely not. Doug Williams was Super Bowl MVP, had a second quarter where he threw 4 touchdowns on 8 attempts, something weird like that. Won a Super Bowl, became MVP. After that, won 5 games. And the rest of his career won 5 games. You only need one big moment. You need to have your best day when you play Tom Brady.
Well, it doesn't take away from the fact that Nick Foles played against a fellow backup quarterback, Case Keenum, in the NFC Championship game. But, however, they did beat a good defense. They beat
a fantastic defense because they allowed Nick Foles to just go out and make plays. They didn't say, we're going to protect you and we're going to let you do your thing to where you manage the game. No, you're going to go out and you're going to protect me as a coach to go out and just win this game. Do I think he can do that against New England, against Bill Belichick? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Defense wins championships, though. I mean, if they can do...
Seattle had a great defense. Seattle had stud athletes on that defense. So that secondary, arguably one of the greatest that's ever played the game by team.
Now, are we referring to the Broncos?
No, I'm talking about Seattle.
No. Are we referring to the year that Seattle beat Broncos, or the fact that, or referring to the time that the worst coaching decision?
The worst coaching decision in the history.
Okay, I got you. Now,
because as a coach, you fucked up. You had the ball on what, the 2-yard
You
line?
give that shit to Marshawn
And
Lynch,
you
your Super
decided,
Bowl champions.
Oh, with the like a beast in the backfield, I'm just gonna throw the ball. Like, why? Why?
On a goal line screen, or not a screen, a goal line slant. Or
Worst coaching decision.
It was a slant or a drag, and it was absolutely fucking poorly drawn up. If you're gonna
biggest coach meltdown in the history of the Super
if
Bowl.
you really wanted to throw the ball there, you do a fade to the back pylon. You put it up where only your receiver can get it. And of course, we're Monday morning quarterbacking the fuck out of this game.
Years later,
but I mean, facts are facts. And you throw that to the back of the end zone if you want to throw it. You give your chance, and it keeps your offense honest. I can see why Pete Carroll wanted to keep his offense honest, because I know that New England was guessing run. So you do a pass play, you do a fade to the back of the end zone, you keep it safe. You don't throw it in the front of the end zone where all the DBs are going to come up to blitz anyway. They were blitzing regardless because they probably thinking that they were going to give it to Marshawn Lynch. A 3-year-old playing Madden could have made that play call. A 3-year-old, I mean, it's fucking, it had me fucking boggled, man.
It had everybody boggled, dude.
But back to Super Bowl 52, man. I want to talk about this fucking spread. It's a 6-point spread currently going in favor of New England, and I'm currently going 28-34 New England. I think that Tom Brady does turn the ball over, and it does gives Philly a lift as far as offense.
See, I think because it's such a pressure situation, because it is something that this is basically the beginning of Tom Brady's season. Right. Everything else before this, preseason. This is where the season really starts for Tom Brady. No, absolutely not. 6 points, not enough. Not enough. Tom Brady is going to come out.
So what's your spread?
6. You could give New England 14. I think that's still not enough. I think this game ends 35-17. Patriots.
So you think it's going to be a repeat of Super Bowl? What was it? Super Bowl 39?
39? Worse. I think this is easily a blowout victory for the Patriots, and it's a comfortable number 6 for Tom Brady.
Even with that Philly defense?
Especially with that Philly defense. I think they've had their best games, and with Big Dick Nick, I don't think as an offense you get off the ground. And you can't stop Tom Brady. Regardless, he's going to put up 24 points. Bare minimum, he'll put up 24.
Well, we'll see what the reaction is tomorrow.
Oh, for sure. And
if I remember it, I get drunk every time New England plays Super Bowl. I'm sick. I'm fucking tired of these motherfuckers playing in this goddamn Super Bowl.
I'm so sick of it. I mean, I understand, like, oh, you're a Steelers fan. Oh, you already have 6 Super Bowls. You've been to 8. Yeah, well, guess what? It'd have been nice to see one more as a 21-year-old that loves the Steelers more than any other team in sports. It'd have been nice to see one more for my boy Big Ben. But, I mean, he has next year, which I think is still going to go to Tom Brady, and he'll get his 3-peat, and he will solidify himself as the greatest team athlete in the history of all sports.
So we both agree we're picking New England for the Super Bowl as much as we don't want to?
As much as we don't want to? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
So, there was a poll. Fox 59, Philly and Indianapolis did a poll, and it was 3 reasons. The question was reasons why you watch the Super Bowl. Choice A is because of the commercials. B was the halftime show, and C was the actual game. C came in last, and watching the commercials came in first. What do you think about that? How do you feel? Not even that how you feel, but what's your reaction that people would rather watch the actual Super Bowl, the actual big game of the biggest game in the United States, for the commercials rather than the actual game?
It's not surprising. It's definitely the least surprising thing I've heard today. That the biggest spectacle in America, on televised spectacle in America, is the Super Bowl. Fact. The highest rated event all year is going to be the Super Bowl, because one day out of the year, one Sunday out of every year, Americans everywhere, regardless of race, origin, creed, I grew up on Block A, you grew up on Block B, we're all going to watch the Super Bowl. We're all going to get together, we're all going to get drunk, and we're all going to watch the Super Bowl.
Hey, your roots come from Pittsburgh, mine comes from Indy. We still get along. Hey, that's just what's great about the game of football, man. But anyway, yeah, man. I have never been a big fan of the commercials, man. Like I see why they're good. They're funny, yeah. But as a football guy, man, I'm there for the game no matter fucking what.
Absolutely. I'm a football guy through and through. Born to love the game, raised to love the game, live my life loving the game. But it's a fact. I mean, it's the Super Bowl. It's a spectacle. You have the halftime show. This year it's going to be Justin Timberlake, and guess what? Everybody's talking about he needs to bring back Janet Jackson. We want to see the other tit now. That's the big conversation going into the Super Bowl, man.
I'm surprised they brought him back because of that. And me and you were talking about in the car earlier, man, when we were, running our errands, man. It was pretty funny. The biggest performers to ever get snubbed out of Super Bowl performance, man, I said Metallica, man. And the reason I say Metallica is that, or any metal band, is because you look at warm-ups and what they play during the game. Like, take the Colts, for example, Lucas Oil Stadium on third down. We play Hell's Bells. We play the bells from Hell's Bells, and it's like, get loud, Colts, and all this. So, you look at the in-game music, and the warm-up music is usually metal or hip-hop. And now we're succumbing to this pop culture that's absolutely fucking garbage. So, I mean...
See, I'm
honestly,
out on that. I'm out on talking shit on music because... I mean, I have my own opinion on music. I listen to a great variety of things. I listen to country. I listen to rock. I listen to old school. I listen to the new stuff. I listen to everything. I listen to hip hop. I'll throw like a Native American techno song like in my playlist when I'm working out. Heck, in my workout playlist, I think I have 1 or 2 WWE theme songs because they just get me pumped. I can't knock somebody for listening to whatever, regardless of my opinion of it. If I think it's good, if I think it's shit, I mean. I can't knock somebody for having an opinion on music. But the thing is, it's a spectacle. Super Bowl Sunday, I'm already fucking drunk by halftime. I am already lit.
That's 85% of America.
True.
Proven statistic.
I want to hear somebody that's going to get me pumped the fuck up for the second half. I don't want to hear fucking Katy Perry come out and do some,
or Beyonce with her political statement.
I didn't need a political statement on my Super Bowl. It ruined my Super Bowl. Granted, that was already a pretty... It was a defensive slugfest. To me, that's a great game. To the rest of the world, to most football fans, not football guys, football fans, it wasn't a good Super Bowl because it was such a defensive slugfest. Peyton Manning, what did he do? Nothing. Cam, what did he do? The hands up.
Peyton Manning on what year? Peyton Manning on what year?
The Super Bowl Beyonce performed in.
Super Bowl 50. Hey, that 09 Super Bowl against the Saints, the Who. That's what I'm talking about. Rock and roll, man. They put on a fucking spectacular. That's my
spectacular show for people
Super
into their 60s and 70s.
Hey, I'm not in my 60s or 70s. I'm not even fucking close.
No. I'm saying performers well past their prime. Well past their prime. Still put on a great show. That for somebody as a music fan like me, who knows old school, respects the old school game, respects my roots of music. That was a great Super Bowl halftime show, and it got me a little pumped up. Granted, I was a younger cat. It didn't pump me up because I wasn't drunk, but it was still, I thought it was great, and it got me into the Who. But nowadays you have.
So who's your biggest halftime snub?
Led Zeppelin, easy.
It's funny you say that because they did there was a college football game. I watched this on a Led Zeppelin documentary. And they didn't want to play it because they had something bigger going on in England, man. They had some country national event in England that they wanted to do instead. But it's interesting that you say that they never got to play because I feel like that would
have been a fantastic show, I think.
But that was.
I mean, you let Mick Jagger come out and do his thing at 60 years old. Why can't Led Zeppelin come out and do something?
But at the same time, you say that, but the Beatles, Led Zeppelin. They were done by 1980 because John Bonham died in 1980. So that was before the Super Bowl. The halftime shit got really fucking huge.
I thought they were big in the 70s.
Somewhat, yeah, but I don't think they had interest in playing the Super Bowl. I say, like I said before, my biggest snub's Metallica. I think you bring Metallica out, man, you're lining up halftime.
Oh, easy. You're getting every drunk fan hyped up. So, fantastic.
And if you go on YouTube and you watch, the video, I forgot who it's by. They do the kids react and the elders react. There's been people outside the genre that have just first time listened to Metallica and just appreciated, and Led Zeppelin, like you said, have appreciated rock and roll that are not fans of it because of what the music is and what they've done for their genre and just what great music it really is. You take hip hop, and I'm not bashing hip hop. I love hip hop. I love my rap. I love my hip hop. But there's some people that you listen to it the first time, and like, oh man, it's the same thing.
It is very hard to
mundane.
get. Yeah, it is very mundane, I think. And if you actually listen to the lyrics, a vast majority is exactly copy paste message. I got drunk, I smoked weed, I fucked a bitch, whatever. And don't get me wrong, the beat that's usually what I listen to when it comes to hip hop. I listen to a really good beat, a really good produced track. I'm not there for the lyrics most of the time. But if you take rock and roll, the instrumental's 100% better than anything you can come up with on a computer because it's so raw. It's so much energy. It's so much of a man's energy getting put into this instrumental, into a riff or a beat, that it's uncomparable to anything in music today.
And that's what YouTuber Become the Black Knight, or Become the Become the Night, excuse me, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for that one, said on the Kids React to Led Zeppelin videos that one of the kids called it a beat. It's not a beat, it's fucking music. And he bashed that one kid for saying the fact that he doesn't like real instruments in music. And I'm going to put a link in the description on YouTube to that video. You guys can look at Become the Night's review to that Kids React to Led Zeppelin video. It was a great video, great reaction.
Free name drop for
Become the Night.
Yeah,
he does a lot of good work.
Free name drop.
Free name drop. If you guys like rock and roll, man, and like I said about sports, when credit is due, it's due. He does a lot of good rock and roll song suggestions and shit like that. If you're new in the rock and roll, take a look at his channel. Link will be definitely in the description. But anyway,
right, since we're on the topic of Super Bowls, I think it needs to be done. Emergency Mount Rushmore time. Mount Rushmore of Super Bowl quarterbacks. Go. You can take first pick, and we'll trade off.
We'll converse. All right.
We'll establish the rules real quick. So you'll pick first. I'll pick, and we can't pick each other's quarterbacks. Fair? Snake.
Yeah, we'll do that, and then at the end we'll just create our own outright forward. Number 1, Tom Brady.
Terry Bradshaw.
Joe Montana.
This one's really hard.
It is.
It is. I mean, I'm looking at all the teams, and I'm like, damn. Like now, what do I pick? Easy. Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman. I got one. Since you want to pick a Dallas Cowboy, I pick a Dallas Cowboy too. Dallas Cowboy too. Roger Staubach.
Oh, great pick. Fuck it, Peyton Manning.
Really?
I get it, 2 for 2, but I mean that's more 4 Super Bowls. That's more than most quarterbacks ever get to. Jim Kelly went to 4. How many's he got? How many rings? 0.
Fucking big goose egg. We don't hate on you, Bills Mafia. We just think you're a little bit fucking overzealous with your fucking antics.
Don't get me wrong. If
you guys are savage as fuck.
If I were part of the Bills
on the fucking field, yeah, y'all are
bro,
savage
the burning
as fuck.
table. People are going through tables like it's WWE, ECW type shit, dude.
We like you guys because you guys hate Tom Brady. Probably just. I feel bad for you guys. You guys have to play in that fucking division.
Yeah. How long's it been since y'all made the playoffs for this year? Fucking years,
man.
Years.
Since the 90s, man.
I
That's
feel bad for
98,
him.
I believe.
Trust me, I was happy
Don't
they
quote
made
me
it.
on that.
I thought that was a big fucking win for football, win for the brand. The Bills Mafia makes the playoffs. They were in for a game, but hey, when you have quarterbacks like Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, and next year you're probably going to get Andrew Luck back in the playoffs at some capacity.
Pray for that. He just avoided his second surgery, so I think we're in business.
Yeah.
I think GM does big things this year.
I for sure. I think this is the first time.
How wide
anyway,
free agency is.
Back to the Mount Rushmore. Go ahead, and we'll get back onto this.
All right, sure. So Mount Rushmore, we went. Who we have so far? We have Peyton Manning. You just went with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I did.
So I would probably say John Elway.
Oh God, how did I forget him? Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger ain't a bad pick, man. My last one would probably have to be, and this is because of his legacy and not as much as I know we're talking about Super Bowls, but what he did to the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Johnny Unitas.
Johnny U.
You gotta respect Johnny U, man. He was a revolutionary.
Was that even a Super Bowl? I mean,
Yeah, Super Bowl 5.
That's Super Bowl 5. Okay.
Baltimore Colts versus the Dallas Cowboys.
There we go. I thought
Colts
that
get
was,
their first
I
Super
thought
Bowl.
that was still AFL NFL type thing.
No.
All right, last one for me. I'm torn because now I can think, and I have 3 quarterbacks in my mind. I have 1 pick left. I'm going for the brand. I'm going with my man Kurt Warner.
Hey, that's a great fucking pick, man. That's a great underdog pick.
Very underrated pick, I think. Underrated quarterback.
From working in a supermarket to playing in a winning a Super Bowl by a yard.
Yeah, bagging groceries, winning a Super Bowl. I mean, hell of an up in life, man.
So my complete 4. Let's switch to the complete 4. Tom Brady. Joe Montana. Third, I'm gonna go with another San Francisco 49er that we just forgot.
Steve Young. See, he was on my he was actually in my mind on that last pick.
And then my 4th would probably be for my city and for my team. A little bit of bias kicking in, but there is fact here.
I mean, I picked 2 Pittsburgh Steelers quarterbacks, so
I'm gonna say Peyton Manning.
For sure. Solid 4. I'm gonna stick with my boy Terry Bradshaw, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, while winning 4 Super Bowls, which was at the time unprecedented.
Hey, both our legendary quarterbacks got 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
Yeah, unprecedented that he could do that.
Sorry, not sorry, Chicago. Sorry, not sorry, Carolina. Carolina was arrogant as fuck in 2015 too, man. Living in Charlotte, man. Oh my god,
I know.
There
Queen.
was no way in hell I
Don't
wasn't
get me
going with
wrong.
Peyton Manning
Don't get me
that way.
wrong. I represent the Queen City 100% of the time. I love my city. Not a fan of Cam Newton. And I think after that Super Bowl, done. Absolutely done. I don't think he'll ever go back.
Cam Newton, I give him 3 years left in his career. We're gonna get a lot of hate, a lot of local hate.
A lot of hate. I get
But
it.
Fuck
Trust
you
me.
guys. You guys traded Kelvin Benjamin. Fuck you guys.
But I get the move. I get the move. I mean, it was a first-round pick that didn't pan out. I mean,
You know who we forgot in the route? We snubbed somebody. We just created our own snub. Fucking Bart Starr. We're sorry, Green Bay. We love Bart Starr. We respect Bart Starr. We respect the Packers. I don't mind the Packers at all. I respect Green Bay, actually.
No,
I have
definitely a
family
lot of
member that
underrated Super Bowl winners. Drew Brees, I think, was a great quarterback. Still, it's hard to get back to the Super Bowl. Only one team per division or conference.
Let's talk quarterbacks who have either been to the Super Bowl and haven't won, or just haven't been at all and haven't won. Jim Kelly deserved at least one.
Yeah, easily. That's on the emergency Mount Rushmore of winless Super Bowl quarterbacks. Guys that never won a Super Bowl. Dan Marino, easy, Dan Marino.
Didn't he get one?
No, didn't even get one. I don't think. I'm like 100% sure he didn't get one, or he been to one. You can Google that.
Phil Simms.
Garbage commentator.
Yeah, we fucking hate him as a commentator, but as a fucking quarterback, he's not bad. That's interesting you say Dan Marino, because I'm gonna Google that. I could have sworn that fucker got one. I could be wrong though. Don't quote me on that, guys. Don't quote me on that one.
So many good quarterbacks. Did Steve McNair ever win? No, right?
No.
Yeah, got shot. He's up there. I think. I don't think he's a great quarterback, and maybe it's a little bit of recency bias, but maybe Carson Palmer. I think Pittsburgh kind of ruined his career early.
I stand corrected. Dan Marino never got a Super Bowl. I could have sworn got one.
Yeah, no, never.
Oh yeah, because that's why back in the early 2000s when I was a little young shit, they were talking about how Peyton Manning could be the next best quarterback to win it. Dude, that was so fucking great in 06, and we fucking shut the critics up. Oh man, great AFC title game that year too.
Fantastic! Oh, what a comeback! What a
comeback,
man!
Absolutely,
definitely one of the more memorable.
We definitely made
football.
We definitely made the majority of the football world happy that night.
I think so, because you have so many.
Bears didn't have a chance in that Super Bowl.
Oh no, absolutely not. But I think, as a football guy, Peyton Manning, like, that's somebody you can root for. As a football guy, you can root for Peyton Manning even if you don't like the Colts.
You know why? IQ. Football IQ is through the fucking roof.
Absolutely.
But back to quarterbacks who haven't won a Super Bowl.
I think
There's
it's. I actually think it's me. Oh fuck! I don't want to say Tony Romo. I really do. I really want him off.
Don't
away
give
from-
Dallas love, man.
I've given them too much love this so far. Fuck. I mean, it's rough. I mean, Dante Culpepper. That's there you go, Dante.
Did Randall Cunningham ever win?
No, he was an Eagle, wasn't he?
He played for a lot of teams. He played for a few teams.
I don't
Yeah,
think
he
he ever
had time for the Jets.
I don't think he ever won.
You think he ever won?
No.
Shit, man. Brett Favre got one.
Yeah, he got his. He got his.
He got his. There's good quarterbacks out there that haven't won a Super Bowl.
Oh, there's plenty. There's only 52 Super Bowls.
If you want to say I haven't won a Super Bowl yet, if you want to extend a hand, I would say Andrew Luck, of course.
Of course he would. I think that's coming. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be anytime soon.
I don't think
even
it's
know.
imminent, but it's.
I think it's definitely one of those things. Like he's a great quarterback. And back to what I was saying earlier, for the first time in his career, Bill Belichick is actually going out and making a case for his assistants to go be head coaches somewhere. He's never done that in the history of ever. He's going out, he's calling teams, and he's like, "Hey, this is my guy. He's good." He did that for both his assistants this year, both his coordinators.
Patricia to the Lions and McDaniels to beautiful Indianapolis.
And I think,
Indiana.
and here's the thing, I think this may be Belichick's swan song. 6 Super Bowls, that might be it for him.
You think he gets one this year? He walks off?
I think he gets this one and he walks off this year. I think
No shit.
I think New England in-house isn't as, great as what they're, the vibe they're giving off. I think there's some turmoil between the 3 heads that run that town, run that entire area. I think Robert Kraft, him and Brady, they go like peanut butter and jelly. Just the same way Belichick does with Brady. But I think Brady's done with it. I think he wants to call the shots. I think he wants to play until he's 45 or until he sucks, which honestly doesn't even look like that's going to be anytime soon in the next couple of years. I think he wins another one. It's hard to say he does, but I think if this is his swan song, if this is it, if this is him walking off in the sunset with his 6th unprecedented Super Bowl as a coach.
It was beautiful how Peyton Manning walked off. Fucking beautiful.
I mean, I still think John Elway had the best way to go out. Wins another Super Bowl.
Yeah,
this one's for John. Hey, you know what? Like, I got my Lombardi. Like, I'm good, bro. I'm out. Fuck the bullshit. I'm out.
Right. So let's together create a Mount Rushmore. We're going to create 2 Mount Rushmores here. Best quarterbacks to not win a Super Bowl. It's going to be a tough one. And a Mount Rushmore of worst quarterbacks
that won a Super Bowl?
That won a Super Bowl. Number 1 on that list has got to be Trent Dilfer.
Yeah. And who's that guy for the Redskins? Doug Williams.
Doug Williams.
I think he had a great Super Bowl. He had a great second quarter in the Super Bowl. After that, 5 wins. 5 wins for the rest of his career.
Damn. Shut down.
Shut out.
So back to what we were talking about the Mount Rushmore of worst quarterbacks to ever win a Super Bowl.
We got 2.
We got 2, or excuse me, back to the Mount Rushmore of best quarterbacks to not.
Oh, let's just finish this first one up.
All right, we're gonna finish
worst
this one
quarterbacks.
Up. Worst quarterbacks.
Joe Flacco.
No shit.
How do you feel about that?
2 Ravens and dude, fucking Baltimore. As me being a Colts fan, we just shut them down. They're really gonna fucking hate us.
Oh my god! I mean, I guess there's some bias because I'm a Steeler fan and I hate the Ravens. Whatever. Joe Flacco didn't fucking win that Super Bowl. Absolutely not. He did not win that Super Bowl. Colin Kaepernick lost. That defense won. He didn't win the Super Bowl. He did enough to win the game, which great for him. That's what Trent Dilfer did. They got their rings.
How you feel about the year Tampa Bay won, 2002, Brad Johnson?
Oh, the Gruden Bowl?
The Gruden Bowl.
Brad Johnson?
And the only reason I'm saying Brad...
Definitely on that list.
The only reason I'm saying Brad Johnson was a solid quarterback, but, man...
That's the thing.
Defense.
All these quarterbacks...
He's in the same category as Trent Dilfer, man. The only reason he won that motherfucker is
all the quarterbacks we've mentioned, apart from Doug Williams, who had the best game of his life. He pulled what Tebow did against the Steelers in the playoffs. Had the best game of his life. After that, what did he do? Absolutely nothing. Before that, what did he do? Absolutely nothing. Trent Dilfer had a great defense. Did enough to win the game. He didn't make mistakes. He didn't throw picks. He didn't, take too much time in the pocket. He just did what he had to do to allow his team to be in a position to win.
Right.
Joe Flacco did the same thing, and then took all the money in the world from Baltimore because, well, they have a guy who can manage a game instead of win a game. And now what do they have? Absolutely nothing. When's the last time they've been in the playoffs? 3 years ago? 4 years ago? Joe Flacco isn't the answer. Granted, he's not a problem.
So you're saying it's time to move on in Baltimore?
I don't think it's time to move on. I think Flacco needs to take a pay cut. I think you spent way too much money on Joe Flacco.
So he needs to do what Peyton Manning did in 2004 with the Colts when Peyton Manning walked in.
He needs to do what every great leader does, and that's understand what's best for business, what's best for a team, and what's going to put us over the top moving forward. And that's not taking all the money in the world. Kirk Cousins was going to get $30 million if he had another franchise tag.
And honestly, I think as a Colts fan, Andrew Luck, he's the third highest paid player. Matthew Stafford, number one in the NFL. As far as, pay, I think Andrew Luck needs to walk into Chris Ballard's office and say, hey, look, man, cut my pay. And do what Peyton Manning did before. Cut my pay until we get the talent we need to win this motherfucker. Once I win you this motherfucker,
pay the man.
Then you can give me whatever the fuck you want to give me.
But that's what Flacco
I can see
did.
Andrew Luck doing that because Andrew Luck's fucking.
But that's what Flacco did, and look where they're at now. He took his money after he got his ring, and where's he at? Absolutely nowhere. Playing 8-8 every year. That's not worth $120 million for 6 years.
No, it's not. But back to the topic. Worst quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl.
I think we have our Mount Rushmore in that.
Well, let's go over it. We got Trent Dilfer,
Joe Flacco,
Brad Johnson. We need a fourth. Or Doug Williams.
That's
Doug Williams. All right, so best quarterbacks to not win a Super Bowl. Number one, hit me. Dan Marino.
Dan Marino, easy number one. Jim Kelly, easy number two. And this is where it kind of gets finicky because now I'm really reaching into.
Did Frank Tarkenton ever win a Super Bowl?
Absolutely, I don't think so.
Frank Tarkenton number three then. Tarkenton was versatile.
How do you feel about Donovan McNabb?
I would take Dante Culpepper over Donovan McNabb any fucking day. Only because Dante Culpepper had Randy Moss.
But he had Randy Moss. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see that. He had Chris Carter. He had
Chris Carter. He had a good deal.
Two Hall of Fame receivers.
And I think honorable mentions, Steve McNair.
Steve McNair's definitely up there, I think. Anyway, big congratulations to Ryan Windsor. Went out and won the Johnsonville Cornhole Championship today in the singles event. He beat the U.S. number one, Jordan Kamba.
How the fuck you go from Super Bowls to cornhole, asshole?
Hey, man, cornhole is a true gentleman's game. I am a firm believer that,
we gonna be podcast pros or cornhole pro or both. Ooh.
Or are we gonna be golf guys?
We'll always be fucking golf guys, man. That's where we think of our content at, man. The fucking golf course.
Ryan Windsor came out in a best of three, lost the first one, had to he relegated down to the loser bracket, beat some guy from Georgia, some nerd, and then forced a 2-game playoff and crushed it. Just absolutely crushed it. Put on his clutch jeans, very for the brand. Had his clutch jeans out and he played shutout cornhole, which I think is a very underrated thing in the world. Cornhole, 10 out of 10, recommend.
Hey,
easily one of the most underrated sports.
Cornhole equals the best. Cornhole equals the best tailgate game to ever come around since sliced bread.
Definitely on my Mount Rushmore of tailgate things to do. Things to do at a bar.
Not even tailgate things, just tailgate games. You got the little ropes you throw and you fucking wrap it around the pole, man. Fuck that shit, man. What's better than getting a beanbag in a fucking hole?
While you're drinking with your bros, absolutely nothing.
Most sports are getting things either into a goal or a hole. Cornhole should be a fucking Olympic sport. If curling can be a fucking Olympic sport, why not fucking cornhole? Fuck what anybody says.
Baseball and cornhole, 2 snubbed events at the Summer Olympics.
Wasn't baseball in the Olympics and they took
it was, and then
out?
the U.S. kind of ran that shit.
Hey, speaking
Real
of the
quick.
Olympics, let's do a bit on the Olympics. Let's talk about
Winter Olympics coming up this month, right?
yeah,
End of this month.
like literally like this
No pros
week or
allowed in
two.
hockey. Does that ruin the hockey event in the Winter Olympics?
this
'Cause that's the only reason I watch. I might watch the shooting thing, but cross country sucks. Boring. Oh, you're gonna walk with
My
skates
top-
on?
my top 3 sports in Winter Olympics: hockey number 1, bobsledding number 2, curling number 3. I like curling.
I like that long jump
Worst
thing.
sport in Winter Olympics is fucking figure skating. I can't stand that shit.
I don't know. Have you- I don't know. Tanya Harding definitely made that more
Oh, there's some
exciting.
bad bitches in that motherfucker. But
Tanya Harding definitely made ice figure skating a lot more exciting when
It-
she paid somebody to just take a freaking pipe to her
put-
rival's knee. Savage move. I'm all about it. Now, was it the most sickening thing to hear on YouTube? Oh, why? It's sickening. It's disgusting. It's not sportsmanlike. But I love the move. I love the move by Tanya Harding. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's the Patriots.
But you could put figure skating in my list and Summer Olympics gymnastics in the same fucking category because I only watch it for the bad bitches.
Fact, yeah. I
In gymnastics, you got bitches in tights, and in figure skating, you got bitches in dresses.
yeah, I think gymnastics is actually probably a taboo topic when it comes to the females now.
Don't worry.
I don't think we can talk about that anymore.
Don't worry, we got respect for women, but we're just being. This podcast is all about being honest.
Summer Olympics, I don't think I even watch anymore. I might have watched one year just for soccer, and I found out that was a farce when it came to the dude side. And the chicks, USA is going to run the table every time.
So but yeah, man. So this beer's empty, so I think it's time to wrap this fucking pilot up. What do you think?
Definitely. One last thing, we're going to discuss who we are and what we're out here to do as a podcast, as two real guys that just we're here to create content.
We're gonna make it. I'm gonna make this pretty fucking simple, man. If you're watching this on or listening to this on YouTube, man, be sure to check out that Two Real Buds trailer. It creates an outline of what we're all about. Man, we're out here to create a branding on social medias. All our social medias for this episode or our social medias period will be in the link below or in the description below. So be sure to check out the description. There'll be some content to some other channels that we watch and shit. So be sure to drop a like. It goes a long way. Be sure to subscribe.
Definitely. And as Two Real Buds, we're here to create this non-politically correct environment that has been what I think is plaguing the world now.
We're here to steal you from Fox News and CNN.
Oh, we don't need to be politically correct. We're here to be totally honest about our take on the world and everything in it. I'll do my Dragon Ball thing whenever. And we're here to just do us. Be activists for what we believe in. We won't really get into politics because I'm just not about it. I don't care anymore. But yeah, here we are. We're Two Real Buds.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like I said before, be sure to check out the description. Be sure to drop a subscribe and a like. It goes a long way. And we appreciate everybody who's tuned in for this pilot, man. It was a great pilot.
It's a surreal moment for me. Definitely. I can't speak for you, but I'm sure this is massive.
From being a dream to what we are now. It's awesome.
From a random idea I had, just smoking weed with my dudes and just having conversations, going out in the world and experiencing life. Like, this is definitely something I wanted to do for a while, and I'm glad we've made it this far.
And for these Monday morning quarterbacks that are going to be on our comments, we will get a Patreon up eventually. If you guys want to drop a donation for us, it goes a long way. We'll get that up sometime this week, and we'll be sure to drop a link to that in the description when we have it up. But I want to appreciate everybody tuning in, and be sure to be staying alive. We'll have another episode coming to you right around next
Monday
week.
morning.
Monday morning, we're gonna have a
Super Bowl recap.
And so we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl.
Love you guys.
We are out.